Hi everyone, Nick Creticus of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and today you're watching me in Bowdabra. So we have a whole bunch of ribbon on my table today, so we're going to be making lots of bows, and to start off with, we're going to be using this ribbon right here, which is a St. Patrick's Day ribbon with a 3-leaf clover. So I love this ribbon. It's really thick, and it's perfect to work with, and we're going to be using the Large Bowdabra to construct our bow, as well as the Bowdabra wire right here to secure our bow in place. So this roll of wire you can purchase on Amazon, I believe, as well as Bowdabra.com. The links will be posted in the comments section in case you're interested in this. It works great, and you could also pick up your Bowdabra there as well. So we're just going to cut a length off. I like to cut my wires a little bit longer. At least by having it on a spool, we can cut it as long as we think we would need versus just a pipe cleaner, which is kind of limited unless you twist a bunch of them together. So we're going to place it in the middle section of our Bowdabra and simply place our Bowdabra on top of the wires like that. So as you guys come in, let me know where you're watching from. I'll also be reading the comments, and my younger sister Bella is here as well. She'll be helping us with comments as well. So be sure to say hi to Bella. She just got out of work about 2 minutes ago, and she's here to help us film.
Hi everyone!
So we're going to be starting off with this St. Patrick's Day ribbon. Let me also know if you guys design for St. Patrick's Day. I love designing with it. I love the emerald green colors and lime greens and golds. I think it just looks beautiful for St. Patrick's Day. So we're going to start off with our tails. That's typically what I like to start off with. I like to cut my tails a little bit longer than most people because I like to curl them up. That's kind of been my new thing. So we're going to cut our tails off. This looks like about a 36-inch piece of ribbon, a little bit less. And then we'll simply place it into our Bowdabra like that. So you can place it afterwards. You know, you're really going to have to find the best way to work your Bowdabra for yourself. Every tool in your shop, you're always going to get used to it and use it a different way from everybody else. Off camera, what I actually do is not put my wires first. I usually just place my bow in, take my bow out, and wrap it separately. That's typically what I do. But for the sake of the video, we place the wire to start off with. Now we're going to take our ribbon, and I'm going to place it with the back side of the ribbon, the side we don't want showing, face down into our Bowdabra. And I like to twist my Bowdabra round and round like this rather than manipulate my hands. It just seems to be easier. So in case you're wondering why I'm twisting the Bowdabra, the reason is I just don't want to manipulate my hands. I think it's easier to manipulate the Bowdabra. So we placed one loop. The loop's about 3.5, 4 inches. And we'll repeat that on the other side. So Bowdabra is also giving away a free roll of scrunchy ribbon today. So if you're interested in getting a free roll of ribbon, comment down below that you'd like to win. I believe the color options are red, gold, and silver. And you have to be here at the end of the video to win the free roll of ribbon. So stick around, or you can come back towards the last 5 or so minutes, and you just might be the lucky winner. I mean, who doesn't love winning free ribbon? So I'm repeating the process, and the most important part with bow making, well, one of the most important parts, the biggest and most important part in my opinion is fluffing it. You could deal with inexpensive ribbons that don't have a great hold, and as long as you can manipulate the ribbon, you will have a beautiful bow. But another important aspect is making sure you completely twist your ribbon 180 degrees so that the back side is facing up. And you might be wondering why we do that, but when we gather our ribbon again in the middle, you'll see that the printed side is facing up. So basically, whenever I add the ribbon into the twist, I'm pinching it so that one side is backwards and the other side is facing forward. Hi, Kathy. Would love to win. Awesome. Hi, Nick. Blessed you. Thank you. So if you guys don't mind sharing this video, I greatly appreciate it. We're up to almost 400 live viewers. So let's see if we can get 500 live viewers tonight. That would be amazing. So keep in mind, the more loops you have, the more full your bow is going to be, and you, in all actuality, might not want a super full bow. For spring and summer, I often do less loops so that the bow is a little less pronounced and a little bit less substantial, if you will. That way we can incorporate florals and greenery. So far we have 4 loops on either side. We'll stop at 5 to make a pretty decent, rather full bow. But if I was to incorporate this into a wreath with florals and greenery, I would actually stop at 4 and then just work in florals and greenery between the loops to create a cooler impact. So now we're going to cut off our ribbon, and notice what I just did. I left about 1/2 inch of an overhang. I do find that important in case your bow becomes loose or in case the wire gives out. Having a little bit of leeway with the wire, with the ribbon, prevents it from completely falling apart or losing that one loop. So I always leave a little bit of an overhang. So now we can just take our wire, which has one kind of a loop, and then 2 pieces of wire on the other side. I just pulled that through. There we go. Bring it to the other side. Pull those 2 wires through that loop, and then you can pull it tight. So right now it's not completely tied off. You are going to take your Bowdabra out, take your ribbon out. The Bowdabra also comes with a Bowdabra wand, which you can place inside. I lost mine the day I got it, but you place it inside and it scrunches the ribbon. That is not 100% a necessity. You can just take your hands and place on either side of the ribbon and compress it. That's what I seem to do. So like I said, there's a million different ways to make a bow. There's no right way, no wrong way. As long as you love it, that's all that matters, you guys. So now we're going to take one wire, feed it over all of the loops and tails until we get to the back side of our bow. Pull it tight once more, and then we can tie it off in the back.
We have people from Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, New York. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you guys for watching. Hi from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Love watching you make bows, just learning, need ribbon. Awesome. So my biggest tip is to actually not purchase your ribbon from the dollar store. You can get better quality ribbon for less money. The dollar store ribbons are 9 feet for $1. And often people tell you if you're just starting out, use dollar store ribbon, which, I mean, to each their own. Personally, I'd rather spend a couple extra dollars and get more ribbon. So typically you can purchase a 10-yard spool of just basic ribbon for about $2.50, $3, and that's 10 yards versus 3 yards from the dollar store for $1. So it basically equals out for better quality ribbon. So now this is the most important part, which I just did really, really quickly. It's fluffing. This really creates your bow. It shapes it. It gets it exactly where you want it. And all of the ribbon we're using today is wired. For all of my artificial designs, I only use wired ribbon. Of course, I also do fresh designs, and for those, I prefer satin ribbons and silk ribbons without wire. But this is what we've got. Give some hearts if that's a pretty bow. So now what we're going to do, which I always question Alex on, Bella, I'm asking my younger sister now who's behind the camera, what's our next step to finish off this ribbon?
Make the dovetails.
Make the dovetails, that's right. So you guys that don't know what these are, dovetailing is just creating a professional looking end for your ribbon. I think this looks ugly. Wouldn't you guys agree? I don't think this looks professional or beautiful. So we're going to take them, we're going to fold them in half, and we're going to cut from the middle out towards the wired edge at an angle. So we're going deeper in the middle, out towards the wired edge, and that's how you get a nice dovetail. Another option is cutting at an angle. So rather than this being a dovetail, you're going to cut at an angle. That's another way to finish off your tails, which looks nice. Just don't leave them blunt, straight across, jagged. You want them to be either at an angle or a dovetail. Some people do the diamond. I think that's also pretty as well. We can pull out our tails, and here we have a beautiful St. Patrick's Day bow. So give some hearts if you guys like that. Just a very traditional style bow that works for any season, any holiday. It's one of my favorites to make, and it's definitely a lot of people's favorites as well. So here is the St. Patrick's Day bow. Okay, so our next bow, let's create a 2-ribbon bow. For some reason, I like these 2 prints together. You might not, that's totally fine. So use whatever color ribbons you have on hand or you like. So now we're going to take another length of our wire right here. Not quite so long. But you never know where you're going to attach these. So if you're just making bows to display around your home, you're better off cutting the wires longer. And you could always just wrap them behind to kind of obscure them behind whatever you're displaying them on. That always seems to work. But having them longer just makes it easier to attach it to things.
Philip wants to know, how do you make the diamond tails?
So that's just doing like the inverted dovetail. I'm sure everybody's created kind of a diamond shape or triangle shape by accident at one point. I know I certainly have. So rather than cutting from the middle out towards the wired edge, like this, that creates a dovetail. If you're just starting out, or if you sometimes forget or not paying attention, you can cut your ribbons like that. Some people like that. I don't mind the look when you have a lot of tails. And especially with a solid dark print, I think it looks best rather than something like this, which is like a gingham. So that's another option. As long as it's not perfectly straight across like this, with kind of like the jagged ends like that, you definitely do not want something like that. It'll definitely decrease the beauty of your beautiful bow. So now, you know what? Let's just try the single ribbon, because I think this would look really pretty in a summer wreath. So you could do this for St. Patrick's Day. It's got the orange, it's got the gold, and it's got the green. This would work very nicely for St. Patrick's Day as well. So there's so many different ways to create a bow, you guys. One simple way is taking your ribbons, kind of eyeballing to see how long you want them to be. And then what you can do is just cut off a length like that. And then pinch in the middle, take your tails out like that, and place it into the Bowdabra. So the coolest thing about the Bowdabra is that it's a third hand, and I think 99.9% of the population only has two hands. I could be mistaken about that, but by having a third hand, it helps hold the bow in place without you losing all of the tails and loops. So we can just repeat that pattern over and over again. For this fun bow, you don't really have to necessarily worry about the size of the loops. Size of the tails, I mean. The only thing I'm trying to be concerned about, or, well, a little concerned about, is trying to get this to be the same size. So the loop size, tail size, you can have them whatever size you would like. So we placed one tail on one side, we'll place the other tail on the other side. So we're just reversing the pattern over and over again. So now we have two tails with one loop on either side. We're going to repeat that pattern again and again. Also, let me know where you guys are watching from, and if you do have any questions whatsoever along the way, all you have to do is comment them down below, and my baby sister will be more than happy to ask them, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you guys. Okay, so we'll just continue creating some loops and some tails. So as I said before, there's so many different styles of bows. You can make whatever bow you would like. I usually stick to about 4 or 5 consistent bow styles that I do all the time. And those seem to be my preference. But other people do all sorts of kinds of bows. So now we have 2 loops on either side. We're going to repeat it one more time on either side. That way we have lots of tails and lots of loops. So I love doing this style of bow for my spring and summer wreaths. I like these bows because they're airy, they're open, and I think that gives us the best effect for spring and summer versus a super congested, thick, traditional bow, which I absolutely love for Christmas time. That's my favorite bow for Christmas. So now we have 3 loops on either side. What we can do now is take our tails, compress our ribbon down, take our tails on either side, take 2 ends, gather them to the loop on one side. And also, if you guys are interested in winning a free roll of scrunchy ribbon, comment down below that you'd like to win. And if you're here within the last 5 minutes of the show, you'll be able to be entered in to win. And who doesn't love free ribbon, like I said before? I know I would be really excited for free ribbon. So now we're going to take one of these, fold it over.
Stephanie wants to know what you were talking about earlier about the cost and comparison of ribbon. Can you repeat that, Nick?
Okay, yep, that's a great question. It might have been a little confusing earlier, so I'm sorry about that. So a lot of people recommend dollar store ribbon since it's $1. You guys know I'm really frugal, so I'd rather give you guys the honest truth. You get a $1 for 3 yards of ribbon, so 9 feet. And if you purchase it on online stores like Trendy Tree, Deco Exchange, Craft Outlet, sometimes you're able to, if you're just starting out and just practicing, sometimes you're able to find just inexpensive basic ribbon like this for $2.50 a roll. Sometimes they're on sale for $2 a roll, sometimes $3.50 a roll. So let's figure $2.50 a roll. You're getting 10 yards of this for $2.50 versus 3 yards for $1. So you're getting more ribbon, better quality ribbon for either less price or the same price. That's why I recommend kind of shopping around for your ribbon. If you're just starting out and you're close to a dollar store and don't want to really place an order, you certainly can just practice with 9 feet. If you're just starting out, I definitely recommend practicing with the traditional bow that we started earlier. That way you can deconstruct it and restart over and over again. So now we're just going to dovetail these ends real quick. So again, fold them in half, cut from the middle out towards the wired edge, revealing a nice dovetail. This roll of ribbon that I'm working with right now was a 50-yard roll from Jacobson Floral, and it was $6 for 50 yards. So again, another economical ribbon. You're getting a lot more than 3 yards for $1. So this process is a little bit tedious, but as I said before, this gives you a great finished professional looking bow versus not doing it. And then we can fluff it, and I'll show you guys the difference from fluffing without fluffing and of course fluffing. It makes a huge difference. So we got a couple more left to do. But again, if you have any questions, comment them down below. If there's anything you would like to see specifically, comment them down below.
Where can you get the bow maker?
So you can purchase this on Bowdabra.com. The links will be posted in the comment section. I believe the Bowdabra team is also posting links down below as well if you're interested in these products. But they carry both a small and a large Bowdabra. The smaller ones for more smaller bows, like hair bows and stuff like that. I personally use a large Bowdabra. I love working with this. And as I said before, at Christmas time, when I'm making hundreds of red velvet bows, non-wired bows, your hands start to cramp up over time, and the Bowdabra comes in. It's just so handy, you guys. I love working with the Bowdabra. So we're just fluffing, pulling the tails apart. Keep in mind these are wired ribbons, so they can be manipulated very easily. You don't want to have any creases in your ribbon. You want it to be smooth.
Where do you get your ribbon?
I get ribbon everywhere, you guys. Deco Exchange has great ribbon. Trendy Tree, Craft Outlet. Hobby Lobby sometimes, obviously not the best quality, but if you're getting it on sale, you know, sometimes they have great ribbons at Christmas time, and they have spring ribbon as well. So here we have a very fun bow that you can place on a lantern, on a swag, on a wreath, on a mailbox. This would be pretty on a mailbox. But let's continue on with more bows. So I thought we would do something different than just use ribbon. So I thought we would kind of do a Deco mesh tubing bow, just the tubing itself. So this tubing you could purchase from the dollar store for, you guessed it, $1. And they also sell it on those stores that I said online. They charge about $6 or $7, and I believe you're getting a lot more than this. The only issue with this is occasionally that there'll be like kinks in it and creases in the tubing, and you just have to cut it off. But here we have some of this emerald green tubing. Do you guys want to see all three colors together or just one? Let me know. Yeah, let's take a little survey. Bella, what would you like to see? Just one color or all three?
Let's do all three. That sounds cool.
All right. What do you guys think? Let us know. But again, you can get these from the dollar store. They have them each season with different colors. For spring, they have them in pastels. Christmas time, they have them in reds and greens. And Halloween's, they have them in blacks and oranges and stuff like that. This is Christmas, this is Christmas, this is Halloween.
Got a lot of all threes.
All three. You got it. So we're going to do black, emerald green, and a dark gold.
Where'd you get the last ribbon that we just used? Where was that from?
This one came from Jacobson Floral. They're a wholesaler in Boston. So they're only about a half hour away from me. And you guys have seen we worked with them in the past. They have great ribbon, and sometimes you can get them at amazing prices. And like I said before, that was maybe $6 or $7 for 50 yards. So this is what happens sometimes with the dollar store tubing. Sometimes you get little creases in it, and that's okay. So here we have one end, we have another end. Let's see if we can find the green end. There we go. So I'm just going to line all three of them up.
Could you show how to do the string before you start the bow?
Yep. So all I did was I took one piece of the wire, I folded it over. You can cut it as long as you want. I recommend cutting it longer in case you want to attach it elsewhere or somewhere that you need a long wire for it. So I'm just taking it, I'm placing it in the middle section. There's a little gap between the two supports. So I'm taking that, and all I did was I just placed it underneath to get it out of my way and keep it from kind of pulling out. That's it. So then we're going to take all three of these. I'm going to drop these to the floor, clean up the workstation a little bit. There we go. Just pushing everything to the side. But we're going to take all three of them. We're going to place them in like that. And we'll just continue creating little loops. So this is a fun little simple bow that virtually looks great anywhere. I think these are really pretty. You could attach these to kind of like a St. Patrick's Day head, you know, like the little characters you guys can purchase, like the bunny butts. You could place these on Easter eggs. They're just like little bow ties, and I think they're really pretty. You could place this on a present. You could make a bunch of these and place them on a present for the price that we're paying. All right, we'll do one more. Okay. One more on this side. And then we can just cut it off. So again, I'm going to cut it off longer, just so it doesn't fall apart. Take our wire. So here's one end of the wire that we folded over, so we have kind of a loop. So I'm just going to take that loop, bring it all the way to the other side to where it meets the two tails that we have on one side. Well, they're not tails, but two ends of the wire. Pull them through the loop. And compress. So this you definitely don't want to let go of, because this would be a shame to have go all over the place. So then we're going to take one wire, just wrap it around the top of it, pull back so that we get it to the other side, and then create a little knot on the back side of this. So we're going to wrap it a couple times. So we created one knot. We're going to create another knot to make sure that that first knot doesn't become loose. And then one more for safekeeping. And there we have a little simple bow that you could add to, like I said, presents. Obviously nothing super fancy. You guys have known that we like to do simple projects time and again. You know, this would look great on presents. It would look great on a wine bottle. Just a little fun bow. I mean, some people wear hair bows. I don't seem like the type to wear a hair bow, but you could place this for little kids and stuff like that, little gifts. But I think this is a cute, simple little bow that works anywhere. And we have enough to create about 3 or 4 more of them. So this bow cost us maybe 50, 60, 70 cents at max to create. Not a bad price. And what you could do is you can come back in and cut some more of the tails open if you wanted some of those being kind of frilly again. So you could just take your scissors. So let's see this green piece right here. We can just cut that off like that. You can cut a black one on this side as well. Or a gold, doesn't make a difference. You can kind of have those little bits and pieces shooting every which way. So let me know what you guys think of this. Nothing complicated, nothing super duper fancy, just something very simple and beautiful. So we have 7 minutes left. We've made 3 bows. We've talked in detail. Do you guys want to see a sheer ribbon bow? I don't really use sheer all that much, but I think sheer is pretty for spring. We also have some of this. This is also another pretty ribbon that would work well for St. Patrick's Day. I love these two together. Don't those look pretty together?
Those look good together,
yeah. Let's do that. I think those are pretty together. So here we have a ribbon from Michael's. It was on clearance for 99 cents. And here we have a ribbon from a store that's actually closing, unfortunately. It's called AC Moore. For those of you that live in New England, I believe that's where they were. I don't think they had them all around the country. But we had some of these around us. And this one was $2.99 for 9 yards. Okay, so for this one, let's do something different. This one's the perfect ribbon. It's nice and thick and sturdy, and you always want to use a sturdy ribbon for bow making. So again, this for those people that missed it before, we're just going to cut a length of wire. And if you guys don't mind sharing this video, I greatly appreciate it. It helps us grow a following, helps people find out about us, and hopefully helps people learn how to make a bow, because it's really not that hard. I know it can be quite difficult just getting started, but once you get the hang of it, I promise you guys, it's incredibly easy. So we're going to start off with our tails. So we can decide how long we want our tails. I'm going to cut these a little bit longer, like you guys know. And then we'll cut a length of our tails of this one as well. So we'll just cut a length of this. So then what we can do is we can take both of these ribbons and put them into our Bowdabra. So I'm going to take the green one first, place it inside, followed by the polka dot with the green. And the green matches the solid green perfectly. As you guys can see here, it just matches perfectly. So then what we can do is we can take our 2.5 inch solid green. And we can begin creating loops. So the size of the loops, I mean, I give you guys estimates, but it truly depends on how big you want your bow to be. So this bow is going to be a decent size. This is going to create definitely a wreath size bow. So if you're dealing with a smaller scale, you might want to be using 1.5 inch ribbon. And again, I'm just constantly twisting and turning our ribbon over and over again. So we'll do 3 of these loops.
Yeah, everyone loves these two colors together.
I think so too. I think they look great together. So we did 3 loops on either side, and here's another unfortunate thing that happens with ribbon is they piece them together. This one looks like they didn't even do a good job at that at all. Thankfully, we had enough to do 3 loops on either side and are only wasting about maybe a foot or so. No, less than a foot, maybe 10 inches or so. But this is what happens. This one looks like it was just stapled together. But no matter where you get your ribbon, no matter how high quality the ribbon is, unfortunately that sometimes happens when they piece them together. So we're going to compress that like that. Now we're going to come back in with the polka dot. And we'll do 2 loops on either side. And since I don't have a third ribbon, I'm thinking we'll also do a little button loop in the middle. Just because I like these two together and I don't really want to take away from them. So notice that I'm making them slightly smaller. So the first 3 loops are pretty much the same size, and then the next set of 2 on either side are going to be about 1/2 inch to 1 inch smaller. Typically we graduate from 2.5 inches to 1.5 inches, but nobody said that we can't do it this way. You know, there's no rules set in stone, and if somebody tries to tell you that this is how you make a bow or this is not how you make a bow, then they're wrong. There's so many different ways, and as long as we like the outcome, doesn't matter which path we took to get there. So now we'll create another little loop on the opposing side. Again, twist your ribbon completely 180 degrees so that the printed side is facing down. And then let's just do a little button loop in the middle to finish off our bow. So I'm just going to take this ribbon, completely twist it around again, and make an even smaller bow loop. Like that. So this one is about 1 inch smaller than the next layer. So now we'll just cut that off, push it down into our Bowdabra. Take the wire, bring it to one side. Doesn't matter if you bring the loop to one side or the 2 other ends of the wire to the other side, as long as you just take one side. Pull it. Take your bow out of your Bowdabra. Give it one quick twist. Take one wire. This is how you finish it off. Take one wire, fold it over, and just twist from behind. So we have about a minute left. So let's finish up this bow. So now it's the most important part. So we have 2 beautiful ribbons together, but we have a hideous bow. So real quick, we're not going to dovetail. We're just going to fluff. So I'm going to take these 3 ribbons, pull them to one side, on either side. Now take our 2.5 inch polka dot ribbon, pull those also to one side. Take our little button, open it up in the middle.
Where can you buy the wire?
So the links will be in the comments section. I believe Bowdabra.com sells their wire, and I'm pretty sure I saw them on Amazon as well. But down in the comments section, you guys will definitely be able to find all of the links to all of these products. Okay, so now what we can do is we can show you guys how it turned out. How pretty is that? What we can do is just cut off that little bit of an overhang. Like I said, we do want to leave about 1/2 inch, but the full length of this is just too long.
Congratulations, Sharon.
So Sharon is our lucky winner for a free roll of scrunchy ribbon from Bowdabra. So congratulations, Sharon. reach out to Bowdabra, just send them a message, and you can choose your color, and they will be more than happy to send you a free roll of scrunchy ribbon. So again, thank you guys for watching. We created this fun bow, and I'll have pictures of all of these posted for you guys to see. We also created this funky bow using this 1.5 inch ribbon. We also have our beautiful St. Patrick's Day bow. And we have a little fun, very inexpensive, 50 to 75 cent bow that works great anywhere. You could even have 3 of these on your dollar store themed wreaths that we've made in the past. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you don't mind giving this video a thumbs up and a like, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.